I'm going to present you the books that I read in February. February was one hell of a month for me. It was a short month, but I think this is the most books I've ever read in 1 month. Like, I think I just went a bit crazy. I did spend 2 weeks in quarantine, so I had a lot of time on my hands. Also, school wasn't as busy as usual, so I think that just gave me a lot of time. Just a second. Let's get into these books, shall we? So I do need my phone and Goodreads for this because I forget things. So the first book I read in February was 13 Minutes. Started in January, and then I didn't read for like a good couple of weeks. And then like the last week of January, beginning February, I read this bad boy. Finished this book on the 2nd of February. I really like this. I gave this a 5-star. My in-depth reviews are on Goodreads if you want to follow me there. It's about this girl, and she ended up in a river dying for 13 minutes. She doesn't know how. There's basically like 2 perspectives of the girl that died and her ex-best friend, and it's all about like romance and friendship and investigating a murder. On the front page it says Mean Girls for the Instagram age, and I completely agree. Well, the ending screams Mean Girls. It screams Mean Girls. Then the next book I read is The Love Hypothesis. Well, I read this for a video that I made to try different genres. This book was really popular, and then one of my friends read it, and I was like, okay, you have me sold, I'm gonna buy it now. So I bought it online, and it arrived the next day, and then I read this, and I also gave it a 5 stars. I feel like I should really work on my rating because I give books 5 stars way too easily. There's one part about this book though, there's like some sensual scenes, and the author refers to the male genital as cock. Like, could you have used any other word? It would have been fine. Just did not. Sorry, it was not cute. For this book, I give you a trigger warning for sexual assault because the official author did not give a trigger warning, but remember to always check the trigger warning. Yeah, so it's basically about these 2 people. They start a fake relationship, both for different reasons, and then you can kind of tell. I started this book on February 3rd and I finished it on February 5th. I think that says enough. Then the next book I read is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've wanted to read this book for a while. I've heard a lot about it, and then I realized that we have it in the house. My mom got it once, and then I just took my opportunity. This was when I got my proper book tabs and didn't use random paper pieces. But that's just super sexy because it just works together. Then I gave Normal People 4 stars because I really like the meaning behind the book. Like, it doesn't have a major plot, but the writing, don't make me start on the writing. There's so many like quotes in this that I love and think about it every single day. But there was no major plot. The writing and the character development and the message behind the book it just wasn't a 5-star for me. I started this. I have to double check, but something went wrong. I did not finish this in 1 day, but I finished it on the 9th of February. When did I say that I finished The Love Hypothesis? On the 5th. So I probably like started it on the 6th and then finished it on the 9th, something like that. Then the next book I do not have with me because I gave it to my mother. So it's this book. It's The Therapist by B.A. Paris. I gave this book a 5-star. And when I say this deserves a 5-star, I say it deserves a 5-star. The rating on Goodreads is 3.76. It should be at least above 4. Like, I think it's such a good book. Maybe some people saw the ending coming. I did not see the ending coming, and trust me, I am a master in true crime and crime mysteries and murder mysteries and like lying and like finding out the truth. And the author could have presented the book in a way where it would be really obvious that this character did that, but it was presented in such a good way that it was just out of sight, out of mind. So it's basically about this girl, and her and her boyfriend have been dating for a while now, and he asked her to move in with her. So they moved to London in this place called The Circle, and it's a circle of 12 houses, so it's like a little community. It's a gated community. After living there for a while, it turns out that somebody died where they lived. But yeah, basically the main character becomes obsessed with the murder. So after I finished The Therapist, I needed something short. I needed something quick. I needed something that I knew and wouldn't be too heavy. So I read Coraline. It is a 150-page book. It's super small. I watched the movie, and Coraline is really, like, it's one of my favorite movies. Also, as a kid, it was already one of my favorite movies. And I never read the book, and I was kind of disappointed in myself. So I got it for Christmas, and I took that as my opportunity to, so I did. And I really liked the book. there are a few differences in the book and the movie, but I feel like if you would have took only the things out of the book and put it into the movie wouldn't even be an hour long. Well, it's a 200-page book, but like, for example, YB doesn't exist in the book, and that was kind of a throw off for me, but because I love YB so much, like YB is my bae in the movie, but then I realized I should not compare it to the movie, I should compare it to the book and what I think of the book. So I give it a 5 stars, because if I had just read the book and not think about the movie, this was a 5-star. I love the way it's written, I love the way it's like, some lines are quite poetic. Also, I finished Coraline in like 2 hours. So then I read The Perfect Wife, and this got 3.5 stars for me, but 4 stars on Goodreads, because it was more towards the 4 than towards the 3. I really like the book. It's quite a thick book. I really like the book, I really like the writing, I really like the character development. In the beginning of the book, I thought it was going to be more like a sci-fi book and not as much a mystery. But the ending had me really confused, and I felt like it wasn't really explained. Like, I did not know what was going on to the ending, and there were a few things in the book that I didn't understand. So then I went to the reviews, and a lot of people didn't understand, so I felt like that was kind of like not my mistake. But I still really like after I literally researched online to find out what the ending meant, then I was like, oh, well, that's really good. But I felt like the author could have maybe, I don't know, made it more clear. But I did feel like a 3 was way too low. It is Super Sexy Me from the Future again. And I didn't really explain what this book was about. So basically, this woman dies, and in a couple of years later, she's back alive again. And in like the first chapter, it's explained how, and that's kind of why I thought it was more of a sci-fi. And then basically throughout her life, memories start coming back to her, and she starts to realize things, and like things that like don't make sense, because her husband has obviously been telling her everything that went on before she died, but not exactly what happened before she died. And I made it a little spooky. Like, he wouldn't tell her how she died. Like, that was like off limits. But he would tell her like, oh yeah, you love to do this, you love to paint, you love to do this, but he wouldn't tell her anything about like important stuff, basically. Throughout the book, she finds out more and more and more. I started this on February 15th, and I finished it on February 17th, so. It is Super Sexy Me from the Future, but on camera. So basically, in the video, when I filmed this, I hadn't finished Ugly Love, and I didn't think I was gonna finish it in February, more like early March, but I didn't finish it in February, on the last day of February. I could still include it in this video, because it was kind of half-half, and obviously I hadn't rated it yet. Let me get the book. Wow! Ugly Love. It took me quite a while to read this, because I read it over the holidays, and we were traveling a lot, so I didn't actually get that much time to actually read it. So I started it on February 20th, and I finished it on February 28th. That's actually not that bad, it's 8 days. I thought it took me like 2 weeks to finish it, but I guess not. I calculated wrong. As most books, I give it 5 stars, but I did really like the story. It literally made me cry. A video about that is coming out quite in a while. I don't want to say soon, because it's gonna take a while, but you can see the ending of me crying. Be excited for that. But basically, I mean, I think most people know what Ugly Love is about, but if you don't, Ugly Love is about 2 people that meet, and basically the guy is like very closed off, and he's like very mysterious. The girl just moved in with her brother, and he lives across the hallway, so they meet one night. Like, they start to kind of like get in there, and then they're like, well, we only want like casual sex, like we just want a physical attraction, like we have a mutual physical attraction, but we don't want anything extra to it. So the guy has 2 rules: don't expect the future and don't ask about the past. Basically, from there on, it's a roller coaster of emotions, babe. There is quite a lot of sensual scenes in this book, but I felt like the amount was like okay, because it was like distributed a lot. For example, in The Love Hypothesis, it was like 1.5 chapters. So it was like 1.5 chapters of like very graphified sex scenes. And in this, it was not as graphic as The Love Hypothesis, but it was still like you could understand what was going on. It was like distributed enough, but it wasn't constantly you're reading about sex. It's been used before, but I don't think I've read it in this type of way so far. I mean, I haven't read that many romance books, but I don't feel like I know a story that's like weirdly close to this because I have that with quite some things where I'm like, this is a bit too similar, I don't like it. But I felt like this had enough originality to it. That was a glue up, and now we can go back to the video. So I finished 6 books and I started the 7th, which is insane. And February is a short month as well. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want me to do this every month, please let me know. Please let me know if you enjoyed it in the first place. Comment the calendar emoji if you're still watching, because then I know who the real ones are. I hope you had fun watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some good recommendations out of this. Yeah, I'll see you when I see you.